His reviews will get you further than the film will ever go. If you give him just a moment of your time, he'll let you know which movies rock, which movies stink, which movies shouldn't have been released. Say hello to Confused Matthew.
I have seen a lot of anti-drug movies in my time, but never one quite like this. In fact, this might just be me, but I don't think this was a drug PSA at all, at least not simply that. In all the anti-drug movies I've seen, the order of cause and effect is always the same. Drugs cause all the characters' problems. In Requiem for a Dream, drugs are actually an effect themselves. So what is their cause? I'll get back to that in a bit. But for now, let me give a brief outline of the story. Two very basic things are happening here. Our main character, Harry Goldfarb, along with his friends, enter into a drug trade. Harry's prime motivation for this is to help his girlfriend open a fashion store, while his friend just hopes to escape the streets and make his mother proud. On the other side of the plot, we have Harry's mother, Sarah, who spends most of her time watching television. She receives a call inviting her to participate on a game show and becomes obsessed with matching her appearance to that of an old photograph of her in a red dress. She is now too heavy to fit into it, however, and eventually resorts to taking diet pills, unwittingly screwing herself up in the process. In the center of all the action are Harry and his girlfriend Marion, one of the most convincing couples I have seen in recent years. We don't have to spend very much time with these two or hear a lot of dialogue to understand how much they mean to one another. These two are every bit as addicted to each other as the substances they consume. Then we have the mom who wants nothing more than to be on television. As I said, she receives a call saying she's been chosen to be on TV at some point, probably, eventually, and this alone makes her feel like she's someone. This should have been a red flag to everyone around her that she needs a life of her own, but they all accept this and play along for her. Through 90% of the film, we don't see this woman go more than 10 feet outside of her apartment, and a visit from her son is treated as if it's Christmas wrapped in more Christmas. But when no one's visiting and she isn't hanging out with her friends, Sarah is plunked in a chair watching the same show over and over again. Later on, it is revealed that she doesn't even want any of the prizes from the show. She just wants to be on TV. Meanwhile, the kids do well in the drug trade for a little while, but soon realize that their aspirations are loftier than their abilities, and soon everything goes to shit. So why don't I think Requiem for a Dream is a drug PSA, or at least not just that? Because this film isn't just saying don't do drugs. It's actually exploring why people do drugs in the first place. The cause of these people's drug use is that no one in this movie has anything going on in their lives. All these characters are big dreamers, but none of them have the wherewithal to make those dreams a reality, and that's why they turn to drugs in the first place. So the drug use in this film is actually an effect of which not having a life is the cause. I've never seen an anti-drug movie done in quite that way. It seems to me that Requiem for a Dream isn't just saying don't do drugs, but also following that up with do something. Go to school, develop a skill, learn a new science, make stupid movie reviews on YouTube for God's sake. Anything. But for the love of God, get your lazy ass off the couch and make something happen in your life so that you don't have to turn to drugs in order to make yourself feel good. It's that lesson that these characters never come close to learning, and each new turn in the film causes them to spiral more and more out of control. To make this worse is the fact that every single character in this film is an enabler, and as much as they all love each other, they're just not good for one another. Harry knows how much his mom likes television, so he decides to buy her a bigger TV, not realizing that more TV is probably the last thing on earth this woman needs. And as much as Harry and Marion love each other, they should not be together. Both of them are too up in the clouds to stabilize one another, and each needs a partner that is going to bring them down to earth. This is a film that has just as much to say about the conditions of youth and old age as it does about drugs. Both age groups seem to be the most at risk for lethargy and of having nothing to do in their lives, and as such, both may be most at risk of indulging in narcotic consumption. This is a take on the whole don't do drugs story that I have never seen until now. When Requiem for a Dream was over, I felt horrible. But this is one of those rare times where that's actually a good thing. If you come away from a film like this feeling anything but awful, the film has done something wrong. This was the first time I had ever seen Requiem for a Dream, but it certainly won't be the last. If you can deal with the fact that everything in the film is inevitably going to end badly, I highly recommend it. But in either case, don't do drugs, but most importantly of all, please, just do something. The end.